Yeah, is all yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Professor Mar, for inviting me, and thank you, Dr. Sami Memon, for coordinating the event with me. The topic is management of difficult cataract. Can you hear me? तो जैसे अभी बात हो रही थी पोइट्री की, तो सबसे पहले पोइट्री हम सुना देते हैं। ये गज़ल है जो चंद दिन पहले रोजनामा जंग के अदबी सफ़ा पाक टी हाउस में प्रिंट हुई है। नाका गई महमिल गया सारबां चला गया, नाका गई महमिल गया सारवां चला गया, हमको अकेला छोड़कर कारवां चला गया। So the caravan left, leaving me alone. The camel with its seat and the camelman all left. पुरसशे अहवाल को एक बोल मीठा सा कहा, पुरसशे अहवाल को एक बोल मीठा सा कहा, क्या बताएं कितना आगे तक गुमा चला गया, हमको अकेला छोड़कर कारवां चला गया। मेहरो वफाओ इश्क की बात हमने छेड़ दी, मेहरो वफाओ इश्क की बात हमने छेड़ दी, रूठ कर हमसे हमारा मेहरबां चला गया। दिलबराने शहर की महफिल को सूना कर गया, दिलबराने शहर की महफिल को सूना कर गया, उठ के महफिल से शहे दिलबरां चला गया, हमको अकेला छोड़कर कारवां चला गया। तिश्ना लब ही लौट के मैकदे से आ गए, अपनी बारी आई तो पीरे मुगा चला गया। अमल था तनवीम का या हुस्न की जादूगरी, हमने रोका दिल मगर कशां कशां चला गया। सामने महफिल में जब रूए जाना आ गया, रुखसत खतावत हो गई जोरे बयां चला गया। मेहनत मुशक्कत इब्तलाएं और फिर यौमे हिसाब, रोता हुआ आया यहाँ गिरिया कुना चला गया। बंदगी में जिंदगी जो नागुजारी मजहरी, जिंदगी का सफर जैसे रायगां चला गया। So the topic, as we already said, is difficult cataract. So this is our discussion plan. When do we label a cataract difficult? And then we will be discussing the soft cataract phaco and do's and don'ts of posterior polar cataract, followed by a little discussion on hypermature cataract, and uveitis associated cataract will be discussed. And then we will have a video on siliconized dye, small pupil management, and in the end we will be summarizing the discussion. So when do we label the cataract difficult? That depends on the cataract itself, that is the nature of the cataract, its density and maturity. Very soft cataract is difficult and a very hard cataract is difficult. And similarly the corticocapsular adhesions which make as a kind of polar cataract also make the cataract phaco difficult. The core morbidities associated with the cataract like glaucoma, corneal haze, uveitis, small pupil, pterygium can make the surgery of cataract difficult, and out of which the glaucoma is going to be discussed by Professor Mar, and similarly the zonular comorbidity is also going to be discussed by another speaker, so I am going to skip those. So first we discuss a soft cataract phaco. The rexes need to be standard size, and we need to be little careful about hydrodissection, and hydrodelineation is very important. If we are able to find the yellow ring sign, that will make the life easy and will decrease the risk of complications. Viscodelineation can also help to isolate the nucleus from the cortical matter because the cataract is soft. And then different techniques like horizontal chap, supracapsular phaco, which was described beautifully during the phaco basic discussion, and windmill technique can be applied to phaco-emulsify this cataract. And a very typical cataract, which is a posterior polar cataract, in which there is a round discoid opaque plaque located in the central posterior lenticular region associated with weak posterior capsule. We already know that the thinnest part of the posterior capsule is at posterior pole, and right there this plaque is located. So this makes the central and the thinner most part of the posterior capsule highly vulnerable to damage during cataract surgery. The things to be remembered is that avoid hydrodissection in these posterior polar cataracts and label them red. Need to maintain the anterior chamber throughout the procedure and try to do it layer by layer. And nuclear rotation is also contraindicated. Low vacuum and low flow rate settings are recommended. So this is one example of posterior polar cataract. As you can notice that right in the center there is a plaque which is shows that there is onion like appearance of layer by layer of this cone. And we start with the standard Rexis, that is about 5 to 5.5 millimeters, and these steps are not difficult because generally these cataracts are relatively immature and the view is quite clear. Here you see this yellow ring sign. I have directly applied the fluid current into the cortex. Subcapsular hydrodissection has not been performed in this case. That is the important thing. Instead of going for hydrodissection straight away, I have performed hydrodelineation straight away, and then gently we are taking the material out and we are waiting that it itself freeze down, and we are not attacking the central that the polar part of the cataract yet, and it will be the last thing to be aspirated. And here comes that posterior polar region into the phaco tip, and in a gentle patient manner the phaco-emulsification of the nuclear part is complete, and that's where this plaque was associated right at the posterior pole, and rest of the phaco is not difficult. Here is another example of the posterior polar cataract. Again, you see the viscoelastic is used to fill the anterior chamber. Again, capsule Rexis is being completed in a regular fashion. And here is the viscodelineation. The nucleus, being very soft, has been prolapsed in supracapsular region, and it was so soft that we did not need phaco to aspirate it. So mark it red. These are the do's. Perform hydrodelineation. You may consider hydroprolapse, viscodelineation, and don'ts of the posterior polar cataract are no hydrodissection, and please don't rotate the nucleus. Now we come to the hard cataract, and that is dense cataract, which has many issues like capsulocortical adhesions. We don't know exactly what is located at the posterior pole, and phaco energy is going to be more. And the other thing which need to be considered is the bulky nature of the nucleus. It will be difficult to rotate, and the chopping will be difficult, and cracking of this nucleus will be causing more stress on the zonules. So here is one video of the dense hypermature cataract. We have used a VN blue dye. Then the chamber is filled with the viscoelastic material, in a gentle slow fashion we are able to complete the capsular axis of this stained capsule. And the phaco probe comes into the picture. An active second instrument is needed to keep on chopping, and we use the techniques which are already explained. And this is hypermature milky cataract. In the previous slide you may have noted that it is quite dense cataract, but there was no milk. The hypermature milky cataract is a kind of cataract with more endolenticular pressure, so that predisposes it to chances of capsular rip. And the same thing happened here. Instead of all the precautions during the capsular axis, after staining there was a rip. To avoid that rip, we may use injection mannitol, we may use spiral rhexis, but sometimes it does happen. So what to do if it happens at all? Even then there is nothing to worry. We can complete the rhexis from other place and we can convert it into double D shape. That is conversion of the Argentinian flag into double D rhexis with the help of venous scissor and your retractor forceps. We convert the rhexis into double D. So once this is done, it is quite secure now, because the nucleus is quite brittle and is not of bigger size in these cases. The phacoemulsification becomes easy, and then we simply implant the lens away from the axis of the rent beneath the capsular flaps. Here is another example of hypermature cataract. Again VN blue dye has been used. The chamber is deepened. It's a spiral technique. The quick start is made right in the center, and then gradually in a spiral like manner the capsule rhexis is widened, and by the end you see like a spiral the rhexis is being completed. This makes it quite safe as we start in the center and we immediately are able to raise the tongue. The rest of the job and the aspiration of the milk is not an issue. So spiral rhexis is quite a recommended technique to manage hypermature milky cataract. And a horizontal chop is being applied here, and brittle nature of the cataract makes the rest of the job easy for the surgeon. This is another hypermature cataract. The rhexis has been performed. Right in the center the nucleus is engaged. The chopper comes from the periphery, and then downwards and towards the phaco tip it moves, and we keep on chopping until we are able to find out one free piece, and then we aspirate. So patience is mandatory in these hypermature dense cases, that you keep on chopping and keep on rotating the nucleus until you find the bit by bit pieces of the nucleus. The time is not very important if we are able to perform the phaco away from the corneal endothelium at the pupillary margin or in the capsular bag. The time we spend with patients, it not going to hurt the outcome much. So this was about hypermature cataract. In cataract with uveitis, Mostly it is associated with the more reaction and more sticky nature of the iris to the pupil, and basically the only thing other than controlling the uveitis which makes the cataract surgery and uveitis different is actually management of pupil. So this is a simple technique. By the end of this discussion, we will have this video again in the pupil management, and then we can discuss it. In siliconized eye, there is, because of the buoyancy of the silicone oil, the vitreal pressure is very high, which makes the life of the surgeon very difficult. The zonular compromise and the damage risk is very high, and if some of the silicone oil is aspirated or it leaks into the anterior chamber and thus out of the eye, then the retinal tamponade is going to be compromised. So one needs to be very vigilant in these cases, and the message in this siliconized eye cataract, as you will see in the later video, is never let your anterior chamber collapse. Keep your anterior chamber deep and perform all the steps in a closed chamber technique. The other thing to be concerned in siliconized eye is biometry issue. The optical biometry can help, as well as the other eye parameters can be taken into account. And if vitreoretinal surgeon has taken care that before undergoing the vitrectomy, he has a biometric reading available, that is ideal. Otherwise, we can take into account the other eye and the optical biometry, and further explaining the patient about the biometric surprises in post-op period, because in spite of all the estimation and all the precautions, the results may not be accurate as long as biometric issue is concerned. So this is a siliconized fail eye, and I have started the rexes, and I noticed that it was not possible to initiate and complete this rexes with the help of the needle. So we prepared a slit in the center. It's a totally fibrosed capsule because of the long time silicone left inside the eye, and I decided to implant the lens before completing the rexes, and enough size of the rexes was fashioned in the center, and we were able to implant the foldable lens into the bag through this slit like opening of the fibrosed anterior capsule. And then we used venous scissor and rather bimanual technique, and just like a cartilage feeling was there while I was handling this capsule during the surgery. And here is the bimanual technique being applied, the scissor in one hand and the Utrata forceps in other hand, and we are able to complete this rexes after implanting the IOL through the slit like opening in the anterior capsule. The only thing which we made sure throughout this procedure was deep anterior chamber. We never let the AC collapse. Even while we are changing the instruments, for example, if we are using phaco and we need to remove the phaco handpiece from the anterior chamber, one must fill the anterior chamber with viscoelastic material before removing the phaco handpiece from the chamber. So do's and don'ts we have already discussed of the siliconized eye. Intraoperative pupillary management becomes very tricky. The steps include use of adrenaline solution diluted, then viscodilation can be there, then synecholysis can be performed manually, the pupil stretching techniques can be used, and the capsule hooks and the rings. This is pupil stretching technique. Simply you use two Sinskey hooks and stretch the pupil in opposite directions. It is a case of uveitic cataract which I already discussed, and there are two hooks, and we break the Seineke, and then after freeing the pupil from the Seineke gently from the anterior capsule all around, we are going to use the two Sinskey hooks pulling in opposite direction. but this is going to result in relatively atonic pupil. Atonia is also there once we use the pupillary hooks, but is less marked. So it is your choice now. If the hooks are not available, this technique can serve well. If hooks are available, may be preferred. I have included I'm not going to discuss the management of subluxated cataract. That is to be done by another speaker. I have just included it to show the use of capsule hooks to manage the small pupil. And number of hooks may vary from 1 to 4 or 5 depending upon the situation. I have used 2 hooks here, and the third one is going to be applied almost at 12 to 1 o'clock position, and now this subluxated length has become visible, and rest of the detail I am not going to discuss here. In this video I am going to show the use of OSS ring. The chamber is formed, injection adrenaline diluted is injected, then the synechia being teased away, the pupil is being freed from the synechia. This is a case of previously done trab, and we are performing the cataract surgery in post trab now. Then we remove this pupillary frill with the help of Utrata forceps, and once we have made sure that the pupil is free, we deepen the chamber with the viscoelastic, and OSS ring comes into picture. It is being loaded into the cartridge and injected into the anterior chamber, and here it is in position and the pupil is well dilated. So to conclude, thorough preoperative examination and planning is key to success in phaco-cataract surgery. The hard cataract or the too soft cataract and the cataract associated with comorbidities should not be opted by a novice trainee surgeon. It is the job of the seniors, and once one has enough exposure to such situations, only then one can take up these difficult situations. Again, a little poetry. नाका गई महमिल गया सारवां चला गया, हमको अकेला छोड़कर कारवां चला गया. बंदगी में जिंदगी जो ना गुजारी मजहरी, जिंदगी का सफर जैसे रायगां चला गया. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're very kind to deliver this talk in our this conference.